Welcome to another episode of rokrbox TV. My name is Josh Cunningham. I'm the founder and CEO here at rokrbox. We've got a very special client success story for you today. We're joined by John Lyons out of Chicago. How's it going today, John?
It's going great. Thanks, Josh. Appreciate it. Thanks for having
Good.
me.
Certainly. So John is having a monster year, ladies and gentlemen. He put under contract last year as a record year over 13.2 million. But this year, guys, it's October and he already has 17.2 million under contract with another, well, how much
Three,
did you say? Another about 3
three
million
million. Yeah, three
in the
million plus.
pipeline.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So,
Pending. Yeah.
okay. So
So
that's a monster year, John, and we're super excited to be a part of that growth with you. And so we wanted to bring you on today and kind of have you share some of your tips for success and kind of some of the things that you've learned along the way. So why don't I just kind of give you the spotlight and back up the clock here a little bit and have us tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
yeah, sure. So I've been practicing real estate since 2013. I actually started my business with online leads. So I didn't know anybody in Chicago. I new to the industry. So really, the only way for me to really kind of get opportunities was to buy some Zillow leads. And I was able to, get up to speed fairly quickly with it and sold a couple properties fairly quickly. And the first 6 months, I sold like 3.5 million. I said, okay, this is it. I'm going to stay in real estate. This is great. And I kind of springboarded it from there. So where I am now, well, like you say, backing up a little bit, last 2 years ago, I invested into Boomtown. Um, and Boomtown is an incredible tool, no doubt about it. I had used a lot of different tools prior, and I made a lot of mistakes investing in some things that I thought were less like little, cheaper, if you will. But what I found is that when you go cheap, you pay for it in another way. And you know what I mean? It's like you don't do it. And so I invested in Boomtown, and I was pretty profitable my first year and a half, but I started to get very much overwhelmed. And when we first got on the call like a month and a half ago, you could just see it. I was just, you know,
Yep.
I was stressed. I was pressed so thin, and you feel like you're burning $100 bills every day because you're paying the spend, and you have all these opportunities, but you can't actually hold on to them because there's so much focus in a day. So it can be maddening. So basically, I needed to make some changes, and that's how we got engaged and really pleasantly surprised with it. So I would say this: one of the things that's very instrumental for rokrbox, for me at least, was really kind of forcing me to focus my time, obviously, with the right clients, but also focusing me to actually leverage the tool that is already at my disposal, and that's the Boomtown system. And now that I'm doing that, it's given me a lot more confidence in the business, and knowing, that I constantly have this stream of opportunities that I can bring through the funnel. So, but yeah, this year's been terrific. And we plan on closing over. Well, we already have pending and closed over 20 million. Closed right
Wow.
now, 17.2.
That's awesome. Congrats,
Yeah.
John. So a lot of that freedom, like you said, that focus, being able to pay attention to the right things and do the right actions in the CRM, a lot of that comes from the fact that we're doing a lot of work for you. We're making all these calls on your behalf. We're calling all the leads instantly as soon as they register. If they don't pick up, we call them 10 more times in the first 2 weeks. And then if they say they want to buy a home, but they're outside of that 90-day window, we keep them off of your plate and we keep them in our pipeline until they're within that 90-day window. So we're constantly making all these calls and then just handing over those warm opportunities to you. So that obviously saves you a lot of time. But why don't you talk a little bit about just the assistance and the resources? Your client care manager is Kelsey, and
Mhm.
I know that you've given her a lot of credit for kind of helping you out through this process. Why don't you talk a little bit about the assistance that you receive, sort of from a coaching aspect as well?
Yeah. So, and I actually learned something more about myself through this, which is kind of funny, is that what I realized is after signing up with rokrbox is I didn't want to let Kelsey down. You know what I mean? Like, cause she's like, because I remember the first call, I was another one of John, like totally frazzled, trying to run from A to B. I'm going to the next, whatever I'm doing, inspection or showing. And she's like, you really should be in the office when we actually go through these leads. And, cause I'm pulling over the car, I'm getting my Wi-Fi from my phone.
Uh-huh.
And, And then I started to realize I needed to, start really dedicating to this. So bottom line is that the support's been terrific because she's been able to kind of coach me on how to use it. And then really one of the things that has been instrumental is just setting up the to-dos, going through everything that rokrbox has set up on my plate, going through those leads, making sure I'm following up with those leads accordingly, making sure that all the systems are set up, the alerts and et cetera, but also making sure I have a to-do always set up so that I can always have something to make a phone call. And if I keep on top of that, if I do those to-dos, what I've learned,
Hmm.
it's taken me a while, I'm a little slow learner, is that I will be able to have more people in the funnel that are just, it's like a stream of opportunities.
Hmm.
And so that's what I've learned. And that's what Kelsey has helped me do actually. So,
Exactly. Yeah, that's
yeah.
one of the big points that I always hit home is, there is no try. I hear people talk about trying lead sources and trying CRMs and trying these things out. There's no try because you either do or you don't. And in this case, you're talking about having a process and a system in place where you have to-dos, right? And as
Yeah.
long
Yeah.
as you to do them, you will be in the right position. You'll be doing the right processes and the right activities that will equal success later on in life. So it really isn't rocket science. It's just a matter of doing the right things, waking up every day and having a commitment to do the right things, isn't it, John?
Yeah, no
Yep.
doubt, 100%.
Well, great, man. Well, thanks for so much for sharing again some of your feedback, some of your tips for success. Any other insights or things that you've learned about yourself, or things that you learned about the system that could help out agents maybe who are thinking about getting online leads, or maybe thinking about having some extra help to keep their time focused on the high income producing activities. Any other feedback or tips or advice for them?
Yeah, I mean, so one thing to keep in mind too about my business is that now that I've been in it for a while, 60% of my business is referrals. So I have a very nice balance. Actually, it's leaned into the balance of majority of my business is referrals. And most of those referrals, obviously, since I didn't know anybody in Chicago, is online leads. So one of the things about the Boomtown system or whatever system you have set up is to be able to have a lot of touch points with your past clients, and you're building a good strong relationship with them because they're going to pay dividends. So every
Hmm.
time you have a client, you want to make that client your best friend, so to speak, right?
Hmm.
You want to make sure you take great care of them, and that'll obviously magnify your ROI and make your life happy too. So
Yep.
yeah,
Well, kudos on all the repeat and referral business, John, because we all know that the best and easiest way to earn that is just to provide outstanding service. So,
yeah.
kudos on that, and then kudos on, like you said, building a pipeline of completely cold prospects through internet leads, and then bringing these people into your business and having them, earn their trust and earn their respect, and then not only do one transaction with you, but multiple transactions down the line. And that's essentially what it is to build a career in real estate. You got into it 2013. A lot of people are excited about the big commission checks, but really what it's about is carving out that space in your community where you can service your people, and they can have an advocate on their side when it comes to needing professional real estate advice and counsel. So
Mhm.
congrats on that, John. Kudos. Any other thoughts or feedback?
Um, Not really. I think everything is great. It's still very new, so I'm still continuing to utilize it and leverage it, and I'm excited it's going to happen the next 6 months, really. So
Awesome. Well, we're
yeah,
excited to
so
be part of your
yeah,
team. Go ahead.
no, I see. I already have one. Very quickly, I put something under contract that I would not have had before, and that's really why I'm on the call today. So I want you to know that I appreciate everything you guys are doing.
Certainly. That was
Yeah.
was that was one of the calls that we made on your launch project that we
I
dug
think
up from your
I,
old database?
I'll have to look it up. I don't
Okay.
think so, but it might have been. It might have
Yeah.
been. But there's a lot in the pipeline right now because you
Yep.
guys. So that was just one that's now under contract. It's going to close shortly.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Actually, one last thing I do want you to share, John, because Kelsey told me she was doing a ramp up a Zoom coaching session with you, and you got interrupted with one of our live transfers, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you talk a little bit about the live transfer to everybody?
Yeah. So I get quite a bit of those, and it's really terrific. So one of the concierge will let me know who they are and who they're on the phone with and the type of lead that it is. So that's important for me to understand. And then what they're looking for, and then they just transfer it over to me, and then I'm able to really kind of just knock it out of the ballpark, right? Because they already know that they don't have an agent, and they're looking at it within a certain time frame, and they're looking for a certain type of property. Maybe they're looking at a specific property. And so the live transfers has been really probably some of the most successful, because it's within that, what you call it, like the emotional state, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And also it shows a lot of professionalism when you're able to have your assistant transfer you over and you're
Hmm.
primed up to answer their questions and be of service to them. And by doing that, you're already able to differentiate yourself from any other agent. So it's a powerful tool. Yeah.
Good. I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear it's working for you. There are some agents out there that are a little timid or a little afraid about receiving the live transfer. I'm guessing maybe because they just don't have all their, ducks in the row, or they haven't read through all the notes or yet. But what are some of the things that you do to create an instant rapport with that lead once you get on the phone with them?
Yeah, so I referenced whoever transferred the phone to me,
Hmm.
Taylor or whoever, right?
Hmm.
Taylor's a lot of them, I think.
Hmm.
I was like, hey, just spoke to my assistant, Taylor. You're looking for this type of property or this specific property. And then just really ask a lot of questions. Really,
Hmm.
you're just there to listen, to answer questions, and to make sure you just further qualify them. And by further qualify them, you're building rapport. I don't really have a lot of showmanship. Like there's
Hmm.
not a lot of that.
Hmm.
It's mainly just building rapport and then being of service to them. And there's a couple tools that I'll focus on that will differentiate myself. One would be private listings. And then the other one, if they're really ready to buy and they can't find something, then I'll bring up, the big data, that being able to identify properties that are going to be on the market in the next 12 months. I use SmartZip,
Hmm.
also a great technology. So I'll mail letters to them, and I've helped buyers be able to buy property that's not on the market. So I'm really there just to be of service, qualify, explain the market if they have that question, and then try to ideally schedule an appointment. And actually bringing something up there just reminded me is now with technology, I hop on, do you have a couple minutes? I'll ask them, do you have a couple minutes? I'll send you a Zoom link and I'll go through a buyer's presentation with them on the spot.
Oh,
So
nice.
I've scheduled many different buyer meetings with them, if you will, just by sending them a Zoom link. Everybody's home right now, so if I'm on the phone with them, they're typically in front of a computer, and so I'll go through certain metrics, that areas that they're looking for, like median sales price, list of sales percentages, market times, and then supply. That will blow their mind because they'll have a perspective on what they're looking at in the marketplace. And then I'll go into like the process and how I can help them and all the other things I just spoke about prior. So
That's great, man. That's
yeah,
that's a really awesome tip. I appreciate you sharing that with us.
yeah,
A new age revolutionary tip. Why don't you get them on Zoom right away? Everybody's
right,
comfortable. Everybody's working from home now. Everybody's comfortable opening up their home to the outside world and having conversations with strangers over video calls. So that is awesome, guys. You're
yeah,
on the phone with a hot lead. Shoot them a Zoom link. Ask them to get on a screen share like this. You can, I'm sure, pull up properties and screen share and show
yeah,
them stuff as well. So what an incredible tool. The old school techniques though that I heard that you're using to succeed is, first of all, you said reference your assistant, because that's exactly what we are. We are your assistant. And so
right,
that creates such a degree of professionalism and expertise by you having an assistant. And the second thing you said was knock it out of the park, because that's exactly what you got to do. This is your opportunity to
mhm,
demonstrate why someone should do business with you rather than the other thousands of other realtors that are in the MLS. And I think the misconception a lot of times in real estate is like, I bought this lead, I own this lead. I sure hope they know I'm their realtor now, right? Because
yeah, yeah,
because I bought them on Google. But that's the first question we ask when we get someone on the phone is, do they already have a realtor? And if the answer is no, right, you may have thought that was you because you bought that lead. Well, guess what? They answered no. They don't think they have a realtor. So you got to knock it out of the park. And I also heard you
mhm,
say differentiate yourself. What makes you different, right?
right,
People are online searching for homes. They're not searching for realtors, guys. I hate to break it to you. The
right,
keywords you're buying are homes for sale, not realtors for hire,
yeah,
right? So that's why you got to step up to the plate and knock it out of the park. I love it. Shoot them a
yeah,
Zoom link too, man. That's cool. Well,
yeah,
John, I think that's a ton of wonderful information today. I hope all of our viewers are going to get a lot of information and make it a profitable time that we spent together. So hope this all inspired you to take some action and pick up the phone, make some calls, send some Zoom links, do some
yeah,
buyer consults. Welcome to
right.
the 21st century, right?
I'm on it. I'm
Well, hey,
going through my
thanks.
to-dos.
Yeah, thanks again for your time, John. I know you got a busy schedule. I really appreciate you sharing with us today and sharing with the community. So thanks from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah, appreciate you, Josh. Have a great day, man.
Yeah, you as well.